Last time on Junji Ito's The Blood Bubble Bushes, we met some strange kids and an eccentric, lonely man, and he was going to tell us his story. Anyways, let's get right back into it. It's a sad yet bizarre story. She was a lonely woman.
Everyone's avoiding me. Everyone hates me. And so I'm always left alone. And you'll soon be like them, hating me. And as the days go by, you'll leave me.
That's her favorite phrase. And I always refute her by saying, rather than saying others are leaving you, why not say you are the one refusing them? That's the reason why you're lonely. She was speechless. But that did not change her habit of saying her pet phrase. Then one day I noticed there was a scar on her wrist. Noticing my gaze, she said,
I hope that my blood is able to leave me too. Look at how my blood is flowing out of my body. I believe it must hate me. It's hoping to leave me. It was on a particular night I realized I had a nosebleed. A nosebleed. It's weird, isn't it? Even the blood in my body despises me, I thought.
That was when I realized there was a need for me to watch over her. But what I feared most still happened. What have you done?
Let me go! I want my blood to gain its freedom!
Fortunately, the wound was not that deep. I managed to stop her just in the nick of time. I became desperate. I began to suck on her neck, and then I asserted, I beg you, don't ever think about doing something like this again. I love you so much. I can't bear to lose you.
Me too. I love you. I love you.
I love you. Those words echo in my head. Not long after, something strange began to happen. I guess the blood in her body really wanted to leave her. I first saw it in her dark room.
Hey, look. What I said was true after all. My blood really did want to get away from me.
Something strange that looked like tree branches were growing from the wound on her neck where she cut herself. And there were things shaped like balls at the end of the branches. The stems were like blood veins, and the round-shaped balls at the end were like fruits which were filled with blood. One of them fell into my hand, and I pinched it. And blood splattered everywhere, dripping down my hand.
Look, it's blood, isn't it? The blood is starting to move out. Soon, all of my blood will leave my body, and I'll become an empty shell.
I went to her room one morning, and it was like she had said. All of her blood had turned into fruits outside of her body. Was it really because her blood wanted to get away from her? I personally don't think so. That blood still belongs to her, and now she is able to live forever as she turned into fruits of blood. Later that night, our protagonist was fast asleep. Oh, right. I fell asleep. It seems like I fell asleep while listening to that man's story. Kana. Where did Kana go? And so, Our protagonist made his way toward the staircase. My head is spinning. I wonder what was mixed into the alcohol. He traversed through the mansion and in toward an open doorway. When he peered inside, he saw a strange sight. The man was removing a band-aid from Kana's neck, and then he slowly approached it, wrapping his lips around the wound. Our protagonist slapped himself in the face. Am I still dreaming? But in that instant, Kana and the strange man left the room, making their way down a dark hallway. Hey, hold on! But as our main protagonist followed behind, he collapsed toward the ground, screaming Kana's name. Kana! Huh? Bloodstains. Could it be Kana's blood? No, it's not. That's right. These are the blood spots that brought us here this morning. I had almost forgotten about it. Just where does this lead to? He followed the trail of blood which led him to a strange room. Inside that room was a whole network of those bizarre blood bubble bushes. The sight was remarkable. They had to be growing to at least the second story, maybe the third. What is this? All of this is my girlfriend. This is what my beloved is right now. The man stepped forward. I came by this abandoned village while wandering around with my love's fruits of blood a few years back. During that time, I only had one wish, and that was to have the fruit buried in the ground. What do you think happened next? It grew, it sprouted like a tree, and came to fruition. This warmth, it feels as if she is still alive. The blood stains that the two of you followed, it's possible that some fruits fell outside. Quoting from her favorite phrase, it wants to get away from her, I guess. However, I do not wish to see any more fruits dropping out of this place. If they fall outside, they will be eaten up by those brats. They are a bunch of greedy bloodsuckers. Where is Kana? The man looked over at him. What did you do to Kana? Where is she? What are you talking about? Kana was resting in the same room with you, wasn't she? Are you dreaming? Dreaming? Was that a dream? I'm going to go to sleep. You should go to bed soon too. Aren't you going to look for a telephone tomorrow? The man walked off as our protagonist clutched his head. But soon, he was interrupted by a voice calling.
Save me. Save me. Save me. Save me.
Who is it?
I'm here. I'm here. Save me. I beg you.
He couldn't believe what he was seeing. It was an old man's decrepit body, half buried within the soil. What is this? Who are you?
I'm a resident from this village.
A resident? I thought this was a deserted village, so why are you here?
I was buried here.
I used all of my strength, and I'm finally out. I don't think I can make it anymore. I saw a young man had successfully escaped from this place yesterday. But what's the point of escaping? You'll end up being a mummy anyway.
You were buried here? Who did that to you?
There was that man who was here. He is a very frightening person. He was the one who destroyed the village when he appeared a few years back. Using a scary spell, he turned all of the villagers into plants to bear the fruit of blood. These plants you are seeing are what the villagers' blood has turned into. These stems grew out of the villagers' bodies, and the bodies are all buried in the ground, thus turning into mummies.
He said that this is where his lover is buried.
That's a lie. Those who are buried here are all the villagers. That man wanted to turn this place into a blood field. The quality of the fruits planted where the sun doesn't reach is probably better. He suffers from Renfield syndrome. He depends on the blood bubbles to survive. Soon, all of the villagers will be mummies. That's why he has been looking for a new sacrifice in order to continue growing the blood fruits. I advise you to be careful of that man's spell.
The spell? What is it?
He will give your wound a kiss while you're unaware of it. Soon after, stems of the blood bubbles will start budding from the wound, and these stems will suck your blood dry until you become a mummy.
Are there any ways to lift the spell?
There is only one way, and that is to grow your own blood bubbles, then eat them. If you do this, they will stop growing. However, the horrible thing is, you will only lust for blood after eating your own blood bubbles. A number of the villagers, including some kids, have done this. They look so strange now. Some of them are lurking around in the forest, and some have traveled to the city in search of fresh human blood. They have all turned into bloodsuckers. They must have been infected with Renfield syndrome. My son had also eaten his own blood bubbles. I was reluctant to become a bloodsucker, and I have ended up like this.
He clutched his head once more, and then he uttered, A dream. This is just a dream.
Hey, you don't leave. Save me.
The sun is rising. Kana, are you there, Kana? Kana! Inside the room was Kana, sitting on the bedside. Kana, are you alright? Do you feel weird anywhere? She looked at him strangely and then spoke.
I'm alright. I just feel a little strange.
Come on, let's leave this place. That man must have drugged the alcohol. The two of them, now arm in arm, walked down the stairwell, traversing through the mansion and trying to leave. But when they got to the front door, it was locked. Damn it! It can't be opened. Are there any more exits? A voice spoke from behind them. There's only one exit. It would be a problem if both of you were to escape. You two are my important guests. Look, her neck. Isn't it beautiful? Just look at that. A fruit as beautiful as a ruby. From now on, she will be the one to bear the dark jewel. Shut up and open this door! Do it yourself if you want the door open. But judging from your condition right now, I believe you definitely do not have the strength to open it, because the alcohol from yesterday should have started its effect. Damn it! Ugh! An axe continued to pound through the doorway, and when it opened, it revealed those strange kids. Yeah, this way, they chanted. There's a very strong smell of blood in that direction. These brats. Kana, let's use this chance to escape. Quick! He grabbed Kana and began to push her outward as the kids began to devour and slurp up that strange blood bubble patch. Nice! It's been a long time since I last tasted such delicious blood. We've waited a long time for this. We've been eating these blood bubbles from the forest, and those tasted horrible.
Hey, do you still remember me? I'm your father.
The boy looked over, and a smile formed on his face as the old man's eyes closed. And then... the boy began to devour the fruits, one by one, but that was when they heard a noise from behind them. It was the strange man, and he stabbed one of them with a pitchfork. Blood streamed down the metal pitchfork. Meanwhile, outside, Kana and our protagonist were running as fast as they could.
Ansai, I can't walk anymore. Let's rest for a bit.
Alright, let's have a short rest. We've come all this way.
Are we safe now?
Yeah.
What? What's wrong?
No, there's nothing.
Why do I feel more and more tired?
Me too. I've been affected by his spell. Kana? And now, Kana began to eat her own blood bubble. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. I'd like to take this time to give a very special thanks to my Patreons and YouTube members. Sarah de Jesus, Moto Surf, Cleo, Minue, Kago, Andre Wolf, Voodoom, and Alex S. Thank you so much everyone, and remember, you're important and you matter. Have a good night everyone. Goodbye.